Hey, you want to see something really scary?
What's your favorite scary movie?
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
What was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
What's blood for, if not for shedding?
Welcome to Fright Night.
Welcome back to Jump Scare. I'm Betty.
And I'm Shad.
This week we're covering 2008's Amusement.
Do you know where you are, Tabitha? I realize you're in a serious state of shock. What's amusing you?
It's funny, right?
We're going back in time to the good old mid-2000s.
Back when there was still video stores around a little bit. Landlines were still a thing. People still had flip phones they carried with them everywhere, and no one was embarrassed about it. It wasn't the jitterbug for the old people. The Razor was the coolest phone you could have.
The good old days, which makes me sound extremely old, but...
There it is.
Damn, there it is. Well.
Now, this movie was originally made in 2006, but didn't get released until... I think it got a release in Thailand at some point, and then it was released in the U.S. It just went straight to video in like 2009.
And this is where I found the movie. I can't remember if I just bought it because it was... At the time, I worked at Barnes & Noble, and, you know, I would know when all the DVDs, you know, we have the DVD, the music section. I didn't know if it went on sale for like $4.99, because they usually had like these sales where DVDs were like $4.99, $7.99. When they would go, they would like be, that's the price they came in as. I can't remember. What I do remember is I did like this film. But the world does not like this film. Over 12,000 people on IMDb. Not that I give a damn about IMDb or look for anyone else's opinions on there. However, people felt very strongly about this and gave it 2.5 stars out of those over 12,000 reviews on IMDb. It is bad. And here, in a dramatic reading, we will have Shad read
I'm going to read
reviews.
one of the 1-star reviews of it. I was angry when the rating scale didn't offer a 0, so I was forced to give this movie an undeserved 1. I am 51 years old, and this may be the biggest waste of time I've seen in my life. There is no need to warn of spoilers in this review because there is absolutely no plot to spoil. The acting was atrocious, the weak excuse for a plot was filled with numerous holes and implausible coincidences, and there was not a single shocking or scary scene anywhere in it. The clown sequence was lifted from an urban legend that's been around for 20 years. Avoid this piece of garbage at all costs. The fact this movie has received an average rating of 5.5 means one of two things. The sensibilities of mankind are declining at a rate beyond belief, or the producers have spent some time putting ratings in for this. Now, obviously, the ratings dropped as it went on, because at this point it's now a 2.5. But damn, this person obviously does not watch a lot of independent made horror movies, because I'm going to tell you, there is way, way worse out there than this. Even if you thought this was the bottom, It's like when someone says, like, Fear.com is the worst horror movie they've ever seen. I'm like, oh no, that's not great, but that's by far not the worst horror movie out there. There's way worse. That's just a mainstream movie that didn't age well. You know? That's not the worst horror movie out there.
Now, if you haven't seen this film, it's been a long time, so check it out. We actually may be the few people on this planet that actually like this film. You know, it's not a bad movie. People are saying that the acting is atrocious. Like I don't see it that way. I see it as, even though it is 2008, it's giving 1997. It's giving like late 90s vibes with the way that it's formulated and the choices they made. However, you know, right now there's a lot of people that have grown up in the sequel / superhero era. So there hasn't been a lot of original, let's say, ideas out there. You've been watching a bunch of crap over the last 15 years. So going back in time and revisiting this, where it's like, okay, it's not the most unique idea, obviously, but it was entertaining for both of us.
And I'm going to tell you, if your review, like so many people, if your review is just, I was not amused, oh, aren't you clever?
Yeah, we are not amused by the review.
Yeah, aren't you very clever? Yeah. So, the plot of this. The plot of this movie is a young boy who's obviously a very, very unhinged person as a child, brings his project to show everyone to school one day. And they're all doing these little dioramas where you have to make like a box and you look through a hole and you see what's going on. He chooses a group of girls to show it to. And of course, they're all doing very girly things because they're like 10-year-old girls. What would you say, 8 to 10?
Yeah, I would say they're around like 8-ish. And I want to also say that what you're telling our audience doesn't happen in the film until maybe like 30 plus minutes in. You don't really know right off the bat what you're getting. The movie opens with a yearbook montage of the three girls and what their whatever, not slogan, but whatever yearbook saying is. And
did anybody's yearbook actually do that?
Yeah.
No, mine never did any of that, like most likely to succeed or anything like that. They never did anything like that.
Yeah, but then also, like, isn't that time where like your IDs are like paper? Is a paper ID or no?
For what?
For like your license, like your ID.
Oh no, that stopped like in the 60s.
Oh, in the 60s. Okay, so you were not.
Yeah, I'm not that old. Jesus.
I don't know, but you know, in that time frame, things were fairly new, is what I'm trying to say. So maybe they hadn't gone.
Wheel last week.
Anywho, so yeah, so just like in serial killer fashion, you go through the yearbook and you scratch out the eyes of the people that you fucking hate. It's like that whole opening. And then the movie opens up with a couple, driving in the car. Like every 90s, 2000s horror movie mostly did.
And a lot of 80s ones too. There were a few of them where they were just driving around in the countryside.
Yeah, there were, but I don't think they just opened up right off the bat like that, per se. I feel like it was a more common thing in the 90s or 2000s, but we can have a whole podcast just dedicated to that. So, now, go ahead. The diorama, the kids, the boxes, they're showing, he's looking through all the girls once first, these three little girls.
And then he shows them the first little girl his, and he has nailed a rat up to little, like, columns inside there and filleted open and has its insides out, while the rat is like screaming for help. He's like, isn't that funny? And laughs. And of course, like any little girl would, they're like, no, that's not funny. That's disgusting and horrifying. There's no little girl that's 8 years old that's going to be like, yeah, I'm into that.
Well, unless she's like a monster.
Yeah. There's no little boy that would really be into that besides this crazy kid.
Well, yeah, a serial killer in the making.
Yeah.
Shelby, Tabitha, and Lisa. Okay. He does this to the three little girls, and he looks through each of theirs. Now, this is very important because this is where, like, literally the movie comes in, right? The one girl, her characters or her two dolls or whatever, her figurines are driving down a highway. They're driving, okay? Then you have the other little girl, her friends are having a sleepover. And then the other girl, I forgot what the hell the other girl had.
I don't remember if they even showed.
Yeah, I don't think they did show. I think they just showed out of those two girls.
Yeah.
So that kind of relates to how he takes them. Now, you don't really know. I didn't know that I thought this was an anthology at first.
Yeah, because it starts off with a couple on the road, like you said, and they get involved in a convoy. He's like, hey, we can all just get in this group. There's a truck. There's a couple of cars behind me. We can all just drive and go the same speed and clear the way, and everything will be great.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. And he follows them, and they pull into the truck stop, and, it's the creepy, crazy-looking murder truck stop that's in every horror movie. So you get bad vibes from the trucker right away, like something's going on, and it turns out he might be kidnapping someone in the truck. Who knows? We explore that later. But then that story segues into, well, it doesn't really even segue, it just kind of ends, and then jumps to the babysitter. And she's like, the same thing. She shows up at the house. It's like, hey, where's the other babysitter? And they're like, she left and just left us here. It's like, really? That's weird. So then, of course, like all babysitters, she gets the creepy knock on the door, and someone's like, hey, what was her name? I don't know, the girl he's looking for. And it's like, I'm Owen, I'm her boyfriend. I'm supposed to pick her up. It's like, yeah, she left.
Now, Owen looks like the fisherman from I Know What You Did Last Summer, and you don't see his face at all.
Yeah,
so
not creepy at all.
This is giving, like, the stranger... Who Calls, whatever, part 2 that we just...
When a Stranger Calls, yeah.
When a Stranger Calls, part 2.
So then, of course, you get into what the guy in the review was talking about, the urban legend. Now, this was one I hadn't heard until the movie, and after this, I started seeing it in places where someone says, like, oh, that life-size clown figure you have sitting in the chair is very creepy. And they're like, we don't have a life-size clown figure sitting in a chair.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yep, and then that's it. It's bad times when the clown stands up and starts walking towards you.
I think it is creepy. Now, one of the disgruntled viewers of the film said, you lost me when I saw the clown breathe. But I feel like the clown didn't breathe for a really long time. And then you do see it. It's not insanely, like... I was looking for it. So I feel like I had never seen it before because I wasn't really looking for it. And also, I was very... I was paying attention and I was in the scene with the character because I'm going to tell you what. Forget about the 6-foot clown that has holding an accordion that's sitting in a fucking rocking chair. Let's discuss the other 200 clowns that are in the room of various sizes, various styles. They're all around the room, literally a lot of them perched up on shelves, looking down at you as you're sleeping. This whole room is riddled with clowns. Yes. Obviously, that clown being as larger than the girl herself is very alarming.
Yeah.
But when I was watching the movie, I wasn't I was so focused in on the fact that this fucking clown obviously ain't right and he alive that I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm looking at him breathe. I didn't even realize it until I was looking for it today. And you do see, but at that point, you know that the clown is alive because he's already played the accordion. He's turned the fucking TV on, which at that point, she should have gotten the fuck out of there. Grab the kids, pull a Jamie Lee, okay, tell the kids to go next door, get some help, and then bounce. That's what she should have done.
Now, rightfully so, a lot of people have criticized this and said, oh, people make a lot of stupid decisions. Well, yeah.
It's a horror movie. You're gonna make... that's literally one of the things of a horror movie.
You're Monday morning quarterback in everything they're doing anyhow. You're like, oh, I've seen 100 horror movies, 1,000 horror movies. I know what to do on this situation. Yes. But this is these people's first time in a horror movie, supposedly.
Yeah, well, yeah. We don't even know if they like horror movies. They probably don't even watch them. They're, young...
romantic comedy people.
Yes, they're romantic comedy people. And
or occasionally they're a documentarian. All they do is just watch documentaries about rivers that get dammed in South America and the problems it causes.
I feel like the girl that pissed me off was Lisa the most. The ethnic girl. Spoiler alert. She gets killed. What pisses me off about her is she has her boyfriend go by himself, mind you. I don't understand why she couldn't go. I get it because she was already rejected at the door. However, when your friend is missing, now I know really if you have someone that you live with, a roommate or whatever, and you're missing, you have to be missing for a certain amount of time before they do a police report. I get that. The girl's been missing for,
Since
whatever.
last night. Since
last night. And yes, it's not in her pattern, and they were best friends, and she was very squeaky clean kind of girl, real Susie homemaker, so there was no way she was sleeping over anyone's house. However, when you know where she's gone, I would bring the cops with me, and here's the oh, okay, that's a stupid move. Just common sense, but common sense isn't that common, is it?
No.
And she has her boyfriend go in, and let me tell you, when the guy opens the door and he looks like he came from fucking BioShock, okay? With the crazy ass mask. He's wearing one of those steampunky, mad scientist, aprons with weird, I don't even know what, black alien blood on it. I don't know what the hell is that blood. Don't go in the house.
Because this is the next story we jump to after the end of the story with the girl and the clown. We jump to this story.
Yeah.
Where the two girls, Lisa and what was the other one?
Tabitha. Tabby for short.
No, Tabby was the one that was the clown. It was Lisa and her roommate.
Shelby.
Yeah.
Shelby is the girl.
Shelby's the girl at the beginning.
Car.
In the car, yeah.
Tabitha is the one that's in the clown.
Yes.
And Lisa is the one.
And then I was trying to remember the roommate's name.
Oh, who cares what the roommate's name?
Okay.
We're going to call her name. We're going to call her Tanya. We're doing a shout out, Tanya.
So she's, that's when she disappears. She doesn't come home. She had mentioned that there was a guy she was seeing that was staying in this creepy rundown apartment thing across town. And when you got to this place, it immediately cries murder house or crack house. There's nothing good happening at this place.
If Ryan Murphy were to drive by this place, he's like, boom, that's my next American Horror Story.
Yeah. So obviously, like you said, call the cops. But she sends the boyfriend in, and of course, he makes very stupid choices as well. Anytime someone says, hey, do you want to see my very creepy old clock? When it's done, it gives you a special surprise. No.
No, I don't want to see the surprise. I'm good.
I don't need to see the surprise that's coming from your creepy old clock, because anything that's happening is not good, and it was not.
No.
And then when Lisa does go in, I feel like at this point when you walk in and you see how creepy everything is, just get the hell out and call the cops.
She should have used her spidey senses to figure out, okay, I have not heard from my friend. My boyfriend, it's been hours. It was daylight when he left her, okay? Daylight. It is now no longer daylight. She is standing at a gazebo in the dark. She needed to call 911 on that razor phone, okay?
Yeah, and 911. She had a phone, so I know it was 2006, but people were still pretty common with the cell phones back then.
That was a fucking stupid error on her part. I don't even feel bad. Now, do you have a favorite part of this film?
Yeah, I think my favorite part, because when I initially saw this, I don't remember where I watched it, but I came in a little late and I missed the opening of it with the yearbook thing.
Oh, okay.
I just started it with the story on the road. I didn't see the opening. I think I came in a couple minutes late. I don't know if it was on cable or if I started the movie playing and went to do something. I don't remember. But I just remember coming back and they were on the road and all this happened, and I was like, this happens, with their story happens and like kind of ends, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is an anthology because we went to another story that's not related at all. And I saw it put the name on the screen that said like Tabitha, and I'm like, oh, this is just going to be like naming the stories or whatever. So my favorite is the clown one because I had not heard that urban legend before this.
Yeah.
So when it happened, I was like, okay, this is one of the creepier things. This is right up there with When a Stranger Calls and the Have You Checked the Children and the calls coming from inside the house. So that one was my favorite part of it. And I think if you had done that segment just as a Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Dark Side kind of thing, it would work completely on its own.
Yeah.
So I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I did like the clown. The clown one was the creepier one out of the three. The first one kind of did give me... I had a mixed thing with the urban legend too, because there are urban legends with people traveling and them either like the famous one, well there's actually two, but the famous one is the one they actually use in urban legend, which is the flashing of the lights.
There's someone in the back seat.
There's someone in the back seat, yes.
They use that in that movie Nightmares as well.
Oh, yes.
It's almost the same scene in Nightmares and Urban Legend, except it just ends a little differently. In Nightmares, she pulls into the lot, and the guy smashes the window, drags her out of the car, and throws her aside, and then shoots the guy in the back seat that was about to kill her.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, you're actually a good guy," because he was just a creepy looking dude that she thought was obviously he's the one that's going to murder me.
And unfortunately, you had Brad Dourif with a speech impediment, and he is not helping the situation because you're in the middle of nowhere in
it's
a dark
raining, and Brad Dourif just came out to put
with the
gas
speech
in.
impediment. So sorry, and it was not good times, and
So that one's the same. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh, this is like Nightmares." Okay. I kind of thought Urban Legend might be different stories at first too.
I love the urban legends. I don't care. I could see 1,000 movies with urban legends. There's all different kinds of them, as long as they're tweaked in some kind of way. But they're still interesting to me. And we're going to be covering another film that's riddled in urban legends later on. But we'll save that for another time. Now, Amusement. I love when the reveal of the two girls that have been kidnapped, which at this point, actually they're all kidnapped, but Tabitha she's not hurt. She's able to roam around. She's escaped or whatever, but now she's trapped in this room that's divided by glass. So she's able to see the other two girls. The other two girls are chained up with their looking just like how the mouse looked at the beginning of the movie, with their flesh peeled back, with all of their organs exposed, which I thought is super cool. And maybe it's just me, and obviously we did not watch this film in an HD, because of course obviously we probably would have seen every single thing. You do not notice until the killer goes and he's poking around. He looks like he's gonna poke around the organs, and then all of a sudden he just grabs the girl's chest and rips off her flesh, so to speak. But it's actually a vest that he has her wearing. He actually doesn't have her cut open.
It's just a prosthetic that he's got on her.
That's my favorite part, and I wish I had that prosthetic because it is dope as fuck.
Yeah, it looked amazing. That's a cool part of it.
The practical effects, though, are...
Yeah, the effects in this are amazing.
They're pretty good for... Especially, the mouse. That shit is disturbing as hell. It's oh my god.
For a very low-budget movie from the early 2000s, they do a lot with the practical effects in this. And, to me, this movie's a little like Valentine meets Saw.
Okay, yeah, because...
Valentine was the Saw. They're there's different traps and everything. This was written by a guy named Jake Wade Wall, and this guy has made a career of, besides this, he wrote the remake of When a Stranger Calls, the remake of The Hitcher, the remake of Jacob's Ladder, and then he also wrote Cabin Fever Part 3.
Oh,
which is, a crazy career that he's done mostly remakes and that of things. Now, the director of it was a guy named John Simpson, and besides this, he has really only directed
something called Freeze Frame?
Yeah, something called Freeze Frame, and one called Silicone Valerie, which may be a short, because I can't really find any info on that. But yeah, so this is kind of a group of people that made this, and then we really haven't seen too much from them after this. One of the leads in the movie, is Tabitha, that's involved with the creepy clown urban legend.
Catherine Winnick.
Yeah, Catherine Winnick. She has been on that show Vikings now for about 7 seasons, so she's been pretty popular on that. But yeah, this movie is fine. It's not the most original or greatest movie that I've ever seen, but it's certainly not the worst thing I've ever seen. I feel if you're saying like this is the worst movie I've ever seen in my life, you desperately need to watch more movies, because there's way worse things out there than this.
Now,
it's a fun movie.
It is a fun movie. I do want to point out that the killer, okay, he has a unique thing. Like, the killers, they have like something about them.
Yeah.
He's called the Laugh.
Yeah.
And he has a really creepy ass laugh. And I can't help that while I was watching it, I was like, oh man, this reminds me of the Tale of Laughing in the Dark, which is a Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. And it's about a clown. And the clown has a crazy ass laugh. I'm not going to get into the whole thing of it, but there's, it has a clown laugh. So it just, I like that aspect of it too, because it gives him a little more personality. But I also like that he kind of is like the killer from Terror Train, because he's constantly disguising himself. Mm-hmm. And I really, really like a killer that can disguise himself so well, because in each one of the stories, he looks nothing like how he looked the last time you saw him.
Yeah.
So he definitely blends in, but that is one of those characteristics of a certain type of serial killer where they just have no identity. And they're able to take on all these different looks because they don't really know who they are. They're just empty and, soulless. So they're doing all these atrocities. But that between the laugh and the fact that he was like a master of fucking disguise, that also adds like a different element to like the serial killer. He's not a silent killer, and also there's no character development. I don't need to know why he became a killer and whatever. Right off the bat, as a kid, he was disturbed, so we don't need to go into how he was disturbed. He's missing whatever chemicals, or he was abused. It doesn't matter. He's sick and he's out here doing a crazy shit. And let me tell you, for someone that literally from, let's say, the ages of 8 to 10, however old they weren't no older than that, to like, these are women in college and they're like early 20s. That's a long time to be plotting revenge for some girls that did not think that your diorama was family.
No,
was funny, I mean.
Yeah. The thing you were trying to me about the when you were saying we don't need to know a reason. There's that comedian I like named Tim Wilson. He's passed away, but he did a great bit about the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, about how when he was younger, he saw the original. He goes, and there wasn't any counselor there to help him with the trauma. He goes, I was at a drive-in. He goes, by myself or with a date. He goes, and you didn't know why it was happening. It was just fucking happening. He goes, a guy with someone else's face over his and a chainsaw came out of the fucking woods to kill you and everyone that was with you. Because you had a guy with you in a wheelchair. Oh yeah, we're definitely going to live. He's like, and then the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, he had his mother was a single mom who had to work at the slaughterhouse, and then he got a disease that caused his nose to fall off, and he's like, and then blah, 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 blah. He goes, blah. He goes, none of that matters. He goes, what the fuck? Just carrying on about it. He goes, it's much scarier when you don't know why it's happening. It's just happening, and it's happening to you right now.
Yeah, Rob Zombie. Exactly.
I heard that, and I immediately thought Rob Zombie, because I'm not even sure Halloween was out at the point that he did this routine, but still, it applied to Texas Chainsaw,
Yeah, no, you're saying that, and I think Rob Zombie.
Yeah,
right?
I'm just saying. Yeah, that's
Oh, Michael, his mom was whatever, and the dad's whoever the guy of the week was an abuser, and blah blah blah. Whatever, dude. Like, get over it.
I felt the same way when we found out it's the Cult of Thorn. It was better when we just didn't know. He was just evil.
Okay, well,
Loomis said it. It was just pure and simple evil.
See, okay. Not to get on a rant, because now we're mentioning Halloween and now I got to get into it. So I agree with you, but I also disagree, because there's the magical element, the supernatural element of it all. I find intriguing, and I understand why they went into that, because you, in that same breath, you can accept that we have this child, okay, that is a mentally challenged child that loses his mom. He dies, okay. Mom goes back from revenge. He coming back. Don't know how that happened. He coming back. He's gonna kill people, Friday the 13th. We're talking about Jason. Keep up with me, guys. He's gonna come back and then do all these things. Then he's a zombie. Then he going into space. I mean, come on. Let Michael have his little, like, oh, we gonna blame it on the supernatural, the alignment of the stars, and he's fucking part of a cult. I can accept the cult aspect of that. In two separate Halloweens. I have my Halloween where 1 and 2 are just alone. That's it. They're in their own capsule of the world, and they're by themselves. And that's obviously the ones that I love the best. But then we're going to skip Halloween 3, because that's a separate amazing movie that we freaking love.
That's its own
Season
universe.
of the Witch. Okay, so, and also meta. Michael Myers is on TV in there, because that was the movie of the week. So that's out of the world, out of that world. Okay, and then 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6. I have in my separate thing.
I think
on the
if
side.
they had done 4 with that one, I think if they had went ahead with their plans, like they had planned on, like making
Daniel Harris the evil to take over the evil, I agree that should have happened. And then we would have never had, but then we wouldn't have Paul Rudd.
They could have done the same thing with the Cult of Thorn, just said it was passed down to her. It came into her, because
and then that's why we capture her anyway, so then we could take her baby, because maybe she got out of it and she passed it on to her kid, kind of thing.
Who knows?
Who knows? I know, there's a lot.
I feel like they could have gone different ways with part 4 or with part 5 and 6. Part 4, when I watched it, I was like, all right, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
And then 5 was like, I don't know where you're going with this. And then when 6 came along, it was like, oh, I don't know where you're going with this.
That was the first Michael Myers movie I saw in the theater.
Wow.
Was 6.
4 was the first one I saw in the theaters. There was actually a place in Joplin that gave out, Halloween was on a Tuesday, and they gave out passes at this clothing store where you could go pick up the pass. They had so many, and then you would be able to get into any movie for $1. So I waited and got the pass, and then waited to go see it on Halloween, which was like a Tuesday that year, I think. Either Tuesday or Wednesday. It was during the week, because I went and watched it and was like, all right, this is pretty amazing. There's nothing like seeing that opening sequence on the big screen. That's awesome.
I can't imagine. That's like the epitome of Halloween. Like, they capsulized that shit like perfectly.
All right, so back to Amusement. Amusement. I would give it 2.5 knives. It's a good, entertaining, rip-off of Valentine, Terror Train, Saw, a little bit of all that kind of stuff. It's obvious that this was at the era when Blockbuster and places were still just needing movies to fill the shelves. You needed something to put out there. There was a lot of them when I worked at Hastings like that. We got a lot of these ones that were just like weird movies that were like, okay, I've never heard of this, but it rented like crazy.
But to be fair, though, Trick or Treat, Michael Daughtry's film, Trick or Treat, not the 70s movie, that could have happened at Trick or Treat. It did happen kind of at Trick or Treat, where it fell off and it was going to almost be like straight to video.
Well, it did go straight to video.
Well, yes, it did go straight to video, but then it's
since come back.
It's come back, but the studio fell through on those. It wasn't like it was a sci-fi original movie or like a failed movie where it was like straight to video. It was like it was picked up, they filmed it, whatever. Whoever decided, maybe there was a change of guard, maybe they watched it, the final cut, and they're like, nah, we're not gonna put this out, we don't care for it, and then they fucking dropped it like a sack of potatoes and just put it straight to video. But a lot of movies that did go straight to video made, you know, a crap ton of money.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this was a time when straight-to-video stuff was still doing pretty well. Like, most of, like, the original Hatchet, like, it did some theatrical screenings, but most of its money was coming from, like, Blockbuster places buying tons of copies of it.
Our memories of horror in the theater are different, because I have like moments, like, in my opinion, there are years where they're nothing but duds and fillers and just let's just put something out that's horror and it's bullshit. And then maybe we have like 2 years of like, okay, that's, you know, we pulled some good stuff out of there. But I don't think that year, like 2008, doesn't ring a bell like, oh yeah, that amazing horror movie came out at that time. I think there was just, after Scream, there was just so many movies that came out. It's just like after Hunger Games, you had all these dystopian society like movies that come out based on other books that came out, you know. So in that time frame, I'm like, but also I'm so desperate for a horror movie. Maybe at the time when I watched this, I was just such a great need, and I was like, I took away from it. Because I do not purchase a film unless I like it, and I own this film. We watched the DVD version of this film.
It's safe to say this is not getting a 4K release anytime soon.
No, it unfortunately will not be. However, we have a good time watching it. And
what was your rating?
My rating is similar to yours. I give it 2.5 maniacal clown laughs. That's not my maniacal clown laugh. That's just my random laugh.
Okay.
I'm not going to even attempt that. Now, 2.5 knives. I can't give it 3. I don't want to give it 2.
That's what I'm saying. It's a very definition of, if you were giving this a letter grade, it's a C.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. Now that I think about it, actually, the killer that they chose looks like a younger version of the guy that played the orderly in Saw. If you do like a side by side, he kind of has
the Michael Emerson.
Yeah, he kind of has like the crazy eyes and the
So like I said, this is a very definition of a C. It's got some good, it's got some bad, but you're not.
You should check it out. I'm sure it's on Tubi or Pluto.
Actually,
it's somewhere on there.
Let me take a quick look and see where it is, because since we're going to recommend it, we might as well let you know where it is. If I remember correctly, it's not very many places.
Now, while he's looking for that, I want to ask you guys to do us a grand favor. We're not asking for your firstborn, but we are asking for a review on any of the platforms. We're on all the platforms. Spotify.
Spotify, Apple,
iTunes. Oh, yeah.
Podcatcher, all these things we're on. Leave us a review. Leave us a rating. And if you really, really like us, look for the link in our bio and click on our Buy Us a Coffee and buy us a coffee to help offset the cost of putting the podcast out. And the only place this is available for free is on Hoopla.
Hoopla. So if you have you're in the U.S., you have a library card, you're already winning. And
you can watch this for free there. Any place else you want to watch it, Apple, Amazon, YouTube, Fandango, it's $4.
And I will say this, if you do have a library card, take advantage of the benefits of having a library card. One of them is Hoopla. They have a ton of movies, new movies, new movies, old movies. They have a great selection on there.
Canopy as well.
And Canopy, yeah.
Which is also tied to your library. And like I said, take advantage of it, because there's a lot of really good horror movies. One of the ones that's not available to stream in a lot of other places that people love, Possession, is on Canopy. And that's one that was hard to find for years. That's where I ended up watching it, was on Canopy.
It may or may not be on Shudder. I don't know if they pulled it after because
it's on there and then it's off and on.
Yeah,
because Canopy's been on pretty consistently for the last few months.
Yeah, Joe Bob has he did his thing on there, so it was on there for a little while, but they may have pulled it because they're constantly, adding and reality. But yeah, leave us a review, and guys, stay tuned to the horror.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.